My name is Michael Mastro. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Vastu Creations. Please join. Today, we're going to look at the chart for Rosalynn Carter, who just passed away. May she rest in peace. If you look to the eastern horizon using Vedic sidereal zodiac, not Western tropical zodiac, you would see the constellation associated with Leo rising at 12 degrees. First, we'll see how the planets are operating in her chart and when they're operating during certain events and what could be done to strengthen the chart. So her sun is ruling the chart for Leo, and it is in its own sign, but it is weak. Any planet that's less than 5 degrees is said to be in infant state and cannot protect or promote its own significations. And it's also afflicted by K2. So this made her shy as she was growing up, and later in life, as she got into politics with her husband, she became less shy and tougher. They actually call her the steel magnolia. Sun in her chart is the prime health indicator, and first house has to do with the brain. And so the one thing that she did experience towards the end of life is dementia. She has a challenging mood. Any multicona sign in the 6th, 8th, or 12th becomes challenging. And for a Leo chart, the moon there's Cancer in the 12th house ruled by moon. So that says that moon from time to time, as it becomes conjunct or aspecting in natal or transit chart, can cause some losses, expenses, separations. So moon is ruling that house of spiritual growth through letting go of attachments, the 12th house, and it is placed in the 9th house. So it is through her religion, her involvement with a religion that she grows spiritually. Now, moon is also associated with mother and breast. She did have breast surgery. And moon is mind, emotions. So again, towards later in life, this dementia would be affected. Mars is at 22 degrees. It is ruling the 9th house of good fortune. And again, it says that she will have good fortune through religion. Mars is sitting in the 1st house. Then we have weak placement Mercury. Mercury is sitting in that 12th house. And now I forgot to mention that moon ruling that house also gives her the ability to take on roles. So she's shy, but she can take on these political roles, where she was very influential as the first lady. Mercury sitting there in the 12th house gives her, it's a weak placement, but it gives her the ability to speak out, and maybe sometimes it's controversial. She's very much an advocate for women's rights, mental health, caregiving, and also Mercury sitting there can affect dementia later in life. We have weak placement Jupiter. Jupiter is placed in the 8th house of obstacles, and Jupiter's ruling the 5th house. So that has to do with education. And I think she did not end up going to college, if I'm right. So there was some obstacles to education, continuing education. Although she was very influential in her role as First Lady, and even after that. Venus is weak and debilitated, and infant state also. it is ruling the house of success. And in her case, it has to do with helping other people, caregiving, mental health issues. She very much an advocate for reducing this, eliminating the stigma for mental health issues. She has very strongest planet in her chart is Saturn, which is ruling the house of marriage and partnerships and relationships. She was married for 75 years. Saturn's the indicator for longevity. She lived to very ripe old age. And it gives her ability to serve others as the first lady, and after that in all these different organizations. And also it's connected to farming, so they were peanut farmers. Then we have challenging Rahu Ketu, balancing the spiritual and material aspects of her life. Let's look at the timing of events. So she got married to Jimmy Carter in 1946 during a sun period. Sun ruling that first house is giving her the ability to replace her needs with the needs of her partner. And then in 47, she had a son, and 50, she had a son, and 52, she had a son. And those were all during periods where Jupiter was quite active in her chart. Jupiter's the indicator for children, and then daughter in 67. Her husband got inaugurated in January of 1977 during a Saturn period. Saturn, again, all about service and relationships to the country. She had breast surgery and uterus surgery later in 1977 during a Rahu period. Rahu bringing unexpected events. In 1980, they lost the election during a K2 period, K2 having to do with losses. 87, her and her husband wrote a book together, Everything to Gain, during a Jupiter period. Jupiter is writing, publishing, creativity. And then in 98, she wrote another book called Helping Someone with Mental Illness during a moon period. Moon is ruling that 12th house that has to do with mental illness, depression. In 2015, she was diagnosed with dementia during a moon period. Again, moon, mind, emotions, 12th house stuff. 2023, November 19th, she passed away. May she rest in peace. And this is during a Mercury period, Mercury having to do with the intellect, dementia. And then at that time, if you looked at the transit chart on the left, the outer circles where the planets were when she passed, and the inner circles where the planets were when she was born, you would see that transit moon was afflicting natal Mercury. Mercury having to do with the intellect. Mercury's in the 12th house there. Moon is in the house of health issues, the 6th house. And then we also have Rahu afflicting Sun, affecting longevity and health at that point. So what could be done to strengthen the chart? Well, she's doing all kinds of charity work that will transform Rahu, Ketu, Moon helping women. The rest of the planets could be strengthened by my favorite remedy, a kavash, which is a silver locket containing the Devata yantras for the benefic planets in her chart. If you'd like to order a kavash or get a reading or learn Vedic astrology, you can go to www.vastucreations.com. Thank you so much for listening.